There are 31 nights till Halloween, which means these are the 31 nights to watch horror films. This is 31 Nights of Halloween.
In 1996, Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven rejuvenated the slasher genre when they made the meta horror film Scream. That's right, prior to Scream being released, the slasher genre was practically dead. Hollywood had driven it to the ground. The last slasher film out that I recall prior to this movie was Dr. Giggles, and that was not great. But yeah, Scream was released in 1996, and everyone went crazy. It was one of the most popular films of all time. I think it broke box office records for a horror movie when it came out. When you would go to Blockbuster at the time, they had like 3 walls full of just the Scream movies out there. That's when I first saw it. I first saw it at Blockbuster. We rented it. I saw it with my mother and my brother, and we fell in love with it. The twist, the plot, the ending was just like, we were like, oh my, as a kid, I was like, oh my God, I loved it. I loved it. And in fact, it was this movie that made me want to be a writer as a kid. I'm not a writer now, but when I was younger, I wanted to be a writer. And that's just what got me. And then finding the screenplays at the mall that they were selling one day and reading them and seeing how they write scripts. And it was really Kevin Williamson, this movie. And Kevin Williamson became one of my favorite writers. I was following everything he was doing. And at this time, he came out with Scream, and then it was I Know What You Did Last Summer, which we had to go see, and we loved it. And after that, Scream 2. Then we saw that he was doing Dawson's Creek, and I tried to get into that show. And when I did watch the first season when I was a kid, I was in love with Katie Holmes. I was like, oh my God, that's my girlfriend. And Pacey on that show, the first season, was sleeping with a teacher. It was like, this is the craziest show you ever seen in your life. And you're like, oh, Dawson's such an idiot. That's why I didn't like it, because this beautiful girl was his best friend and was in love with him, and he was such a dummy. So I didn't like that. But anyway, getting back to Scream. But Kevin Williamson, favorite writer at that time as a kid. I loved Scream, and I loved everything. And him and Wes Craven did rejuvenate the horror slasher film genre, because before this, like I said, there was nothing. And then, bam, after this, everyone was making slasher films. Urban Legend. They even brought back Michael Myers because of the success of Scream. Yeah, and I believe when I was younger, I had a treatment, and it said it was written by Kevin Williamson. So I don't understand why it says story in the film by somebody else, and they just have Kevin Williamson as a producer. I don't know what's going on there. I looked into it, whatever. But anyway, the Scream movies. I love the Scream films. I'm not going to talk about Sidney Prescott and that whole story. I love the first Scream. I was a huge fan. They had collectible boxes of the VHS. They had one, it was a blue cover, just blue. Like you saw, they had the faces. One was Courtney Cox, one was Drew Barrymore, and one was Neve Campbell. And they were all blue. Their faces were in blue. And then they had the one with I had every single one of them. I loved Scream. And then when Scream 2 came out, I didn't like it when I was a kid. And the reason why I didn't like it was because they used the Broken Arrow theme for Dewey. It was just stuck in my head so much because the pay-per-view channel back in the day, they would promote Broken Arrow. It was such a popular action film, I guess, when I was a kid, that they promoted that movie all the time. And I heard that damn song, dong, 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 so much that when I saw it in Scream 2, I was like, I hate this. I don't know why. Then I saw Scream 3, and I don't know. I don't know why, but I forced myself to say that was better than Scream 2 for years, all the way till like, I think about 6 years ago when I rewatched Scream 2 and 3. I was like, why do I like Scream 3? This is terrible. I think there's some elements of Scream 3 that are good. The idea of Roman, Sidney having a brother from Maureen, leaving for 2 years when she was younger, and then she was sexually by these Hollywood producers, and then she became like supposedly Roman says she became a hoe because of it, and that's why she was always having sex with all these people in town, and that Roman came back to find his mother and at Woodsboro, and she didn't want anything to do with him, and slammed the door in her face. Sounds like Maureen's a fucking bitch. And then Roman was like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna get back at her. And then he found Billy and showed him videos of Billy's father having sex with Maureen. So that's the reason why his mom left. And then Billy took all his anger on Maureen and then Sydney, trying to get them both. Whatever that is, that's a silly little motive, but whatever. It worked for the movie in 1996. It worked very well, so I'll just leave it at that. But yes, I liked some elements of 3. A lot of it is stupid. The voice changer, that he changes anybody's voice, and I don't know. And now you can't even do that. Well, you can do that now, but you couldn't do that last year, 2 years ago. So it was ridiculous. You couldn't do it back then when that movie came out. But I was just like, yeah, it's good. It wasn't good. It was pretty ridiculous. That whole thing with Sydney seeing a zombie mom, a ghost zombie mom. Oh, that was so preposterous. And guess what? The writer of Scream 3, I liked his films too prior to this. I liked Aaron Kruger did, I think, Arlington Road, and he did The Skeleton Key, and he did some other film, Reindeer Games, and I actually did like Reindeer Games when I first saw it. So yes, I did like it. I don't like it that much now. And to be completely honest with you, guess what? I took forever to watch Scream 4, and I watched Scream 4, and I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great. But after that, I was done. And I did not want to see Scream 4 because I said, you know what? I don't like when Hollywood continues on and on and on and on. And after it was closed, it was a trilogy. I had the box set. Now they're going to make Scream 4. But I did see Scream 4. I did like Hayden Panettiere in it and Emma Roberts. I thought they were good in the film. I like the story of Part 4. Better than Part 3. Part 4 is better than Part 3. But to be completely honest, I have not seen Scream 5 and I have not seen Scream 6. And my friends try to get me to watch it, and my brother tries to get me to watch it, and I'm just like, I didn't want to watch it. I might do a live reaction to it one day. But anyway, Scream is a great franchise. It's a great series. I don't know about 5 and 6 because, like I said, I haven't seen it. But 1, 2, and 4 are good. 3 is decent. There are good parts, and the story that I think was Kevin Williamson's idea about the mother going away was good. All the other garbage that they put in there was bad. Let me know what you think about the Scream series. I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.